This episode has been brought to you from the DGMS Studios, home of Don't Get Me Started, Lethal and Mully Live, and Surftown. Found at Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Welcome to Keith and Lee's Don't Get Me Started. Hi, I'm Lee.
And I'm Keith.
Keith, how are you on this beautiful, sunny, hot Noosa day? And it's Friday.
It is, and it is a beautiful, hot, sunny day, as you mentioned. I've just been out for a surf. I'm feeling good. Now, I've got a friend down in Port Macquarie, and he will surf any surfing conditions. It doesn't have to be really perfect, ideal for him to go out for a surf. And if you ask him afterwards, how was your surf, AJ? He says, I came out of the water with a smile on my face. He says it every time. Today, the waves weren't perfect by any means, but it was just great to be out in the water, out in the ocean. So I came out of the waves with a smile on my face.
Where were you?
Tea Tree Bay.
Oh, okay. Lovely bay.
And what I want to note of surfing, Lee, that originally I'm from Port Macquarie.
No, are you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Down in northern New South Wales.
I thought you were from Ireland.
Oh, that's my grandfather.
Ah.
Did I ever tell you about my grandfather?
You did many times.
He was a gypsy.
I know, you said.
Could explain a lot, couldn't it?
Oh, mate, it does.
But we better not go down there. But you've got a bit of Irish in you as well,
I
haven't
have,
you?
yeah, County Cork. I had grandparents.
Well, that's where my grandmother came from.
They were miners. They left County Cork to go over to Newcastle, where the mines were in North England, and that's where my mother was born. So she's a Geordie. For all the UK listeners, you'll know what a Geordie is.
He'll get the fishy on the little dishy when the boat comes in.
Yeah, that's right, up there.
So I believe that town's divided, isn't it, by the river, and Geordies are only on one side, or are they all Geordies?
There's all different dialects in a very small area. Yeah, so they went there, and then they came down to Elsham, which is 15 minutes from where I was. And then obviously my mother attracted my father in a place called Ramsgate, and the rest is history.
As a result of that, you're a biological wonder that's turned into a human being that's not a bad guy. How good's that?
Thanks, Keith. I appreciate that.
Well, that's a little bit of cosmic justice, isn't it?
Cosmic justice. I don't know about that, but I'll take it.
Well, do you think you've been unleashed upon the unsuspecting world?
Well, I have no other choice. Dog-eat-dog world, Keith. You know that.
Well, you're talking it up, aren't you? But I bet you have a little packet of dark secrets. I bet there's some things in there that you've done that you've never mentioned, that it's punched into the negative and it's hurt a few people here or there, or possibly even your own psyche.
Well, we've all got skeletons in our closet, Keith, and you've probably got a whole heap of them. Oh, see nothing.
Silently smiling over here.
You certainly are.
So, yes, I'm well. I had a good surf.
Good.
And as I mentioned, I'm from Port Macquarie, which is a coastal town. And a very dear friend who I interviewed on my other podcast called Surftown, where I just interview surfers who have done something significant or are doing something significant or are prominent surf personalities of some note. And this particular guy, his name is Derek Crisp. He was 90 years old because he passed away a few days ago. And I was fortunate enough to have interviewed him for that Surftown podcast a couple of months ago. And he recently, just a couple of days ago, as I said, left to join the great kahuna up in the sky.
Interesting man. I edited the interview. I loved the story about when he was trying to steal a submarine.
Yeah, I mean,
who does that anymore?
Exact words I was going to say. Anymore. Who does it at all? I mean, geez, and he got caught. He said to his mates, let's nick this submarine. And does anybody know how to drive one? And his mate said, I do, which of course he didn't.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a submarine?
Yes, I have.
Wires and dials and instruments everywhere. How would you know which button to start the engine?
You don't want to have claustrophobia in that because you'll freak out.
Well, they were well lubricated with a few beers too. Imagine you going in there, you don't know what you're doing. You think, oh, this button is green. You know, that must start the engine. You go, boof, and you let off a couple of torps.
Blow up the wharf.
Or it goes underneath the pilings in the wharf and hits the tourist P&O boat. Sorry about that, American and Australian tourists.
Fortunately, it didn't happen, but sad news.
Well, it is. And everybody in Port Macquarie who's involved in surfing loved him because he was considered to be the godfather of surfing, going back into the 50s. his father had a furniture store, and Derek used to have a kind of a surf shop out the back where you could buy surfboards, surf wax, surfboard shorts, racks for your car, because we didn't think about throwing surfboards into vans in those days. It didn't matter if you had the money or not. He would just say, look, just pay it off. And so nearly every young guy back in those late 60s, early 70s years started their surfing with Derek, giving them favourable terms to buy a surfboard. Because most of us didn't have the money. They'd be about $25, $30 or something, $70 or $80. He'd just say, pay it off $2 a week.
Good businessman.
Yeah, well, another story is that because he was feeding all the surfers their equipment, young guys and young girls around town were really catching on with surfing. And the local high school principal, who was a really good man, he was an old-fashioned guy, disciplinarian, high standards of education. He was worried that the surfers in his school were falling asleep during class. And the high school that he was principal of was just across the road from the beach. So a lot of the guys and girls who had picked up surfing were often skipping class. So the principal, Stan Condon, went down to the editor of the local newspaper, the Port Macquarie News, and he said, look, Mr. Upton, Charlie Upton, you have to write an expose about Derek Crisp and how he's fueling this surf craze with all my students because they're just obsessed with surfing. Charlie Upton said, oh, it sounds like a story. So he went around there and he saw what Derek was doing out the back of his father's furniture store, which was quite prominent within itself. Charlie Upton was impressed, went back to his newspaper and punched this article out with the headlines, Derek Crisp starts new surf industry. And so what was supposed to be a blight word against all the surfing that was taking off in the town couldn't have got a better boost.
Turns out to be a positive. Now, that's on Surftown.
Yes, there's an interview with Derek Crisp on Surftown, and he talks about his stories. And he's quite frail because he just hit 90 when he did the interview, and he'd lost a lot of the vitality and spark. Like when he lived a life that was huge, absolutely huge.
Good innings.
Yeah, and so he was loved by all the surfers around Port Macquarie and the central and the mid-north coast, and he's been fondly remembered on social media, and he's gone to the big surf in the sky. Yes. So that's the only sadness about my week. Other than that, all's good. My taxes are paid. I've avoided jail. None of my immediate family have gone to jail either. No disasters. So they've paid their taxes well. So serving the community. So I'm feeling good about the world.
Now, talking about Surftown, we had a guy come in this week. Very interesting story. Do you want to enlighten us what it was?
Yeah, well, he was an Aussie guy who found himself up in Norway, and he's obsessed with surfing. See, a lot of surfers are really obsessed with it. They just have to have it. And being up there, he found that there were waves that you could ride, but of course it's extreme. It's just below the Arctic Circle where he was, and so it's very, very cold, sub-zero temperatures, very limited daylight during winter, but somehow or other he found waves. He found a way to go out surfing when it was bitterly cold. There'd be snow on the beach and big mountains crashing down into the edge of the beach. Orcas, the northern lights. And amidst all of that, sometimes in the middle of winter, when it was completely dark, often around midnight, him and his mates would go surfing. They'd set up lights on the beach to illuminate the waves. It's like, dude, are you crazy?
Well, when he was saying about how they used to put the I won't spoil it, but put the long johns on and then put layers of animal fat around it, then tape the ends in to keep them warm.
You got to be hardy.
Hardy, all right?
I mean, like, unbelievable. I mean, when the temperature drops below 10 in my world, I don't want to get out of bed. I'm snug, man, and I want to stay there. So, and I love surfing. I am obsessed with it as much as the next bloke, but geez, that's hardcore.
And hopefully you'll get another one named Jake from
Milwaukee, which is in the United States, just north of Chicago. And he's an inland surfer.
That would be colder, wouldn't it?
Oh, I don't know, but
be interesting to find out.
Possibly because
maybe fresh water.
Yes, and they get the wind blowing across and it lowers the chill factor.
But it'd be great bookends to get both them up at the same time.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm aiming at, and need to hear back from Jake. So if you're listening, brother, respond to the email and we'll book you in.
Come on, Jake, you can do it, mate. The other thing I want to mention, we're fast approaching Christmas, as you know, and we're fast approaching our 100th, and Surftown's fast approaching its 50th.
Now, 100th DGMS, don't get me started.
Yeah, which is a combo of Noosa Now and Lethal Mully Live and the Men's Quarter.
Yes.
It's made up to 97 episodes. Listen to us regularly. You've been hearing us talk about the Rogue Radio Noosa that we were going to bring up and evolve. And we've decided that due to what we're doing at the moment and Christmas coming up, we thought we'll leave it till next year. Same as the men's quarter, which we still want to do. We find that very exciting and we're seeing things happen. And so we want to get involved, but we're going to leave it till next year. So we're going to wind down this year, hopefully with our 100th episode with Don't Get Me Started and Keith's 50th on Surftown. How's that, Mully?
Oh, it's astonishing. I mean,
astonishing. 150 episodes in 18 months. We've been busy.
Yeah, we have been busy and we've punched out a lot of episodes and contents. Do you think we've changed the world?
Slowly.
Well, how have we changed it? Have we fomented a much-needed social revolution?
I think we are starting to build a base that's going to take over the airways. Now, did you get the email I sent you last night about there's a podcast in America that they want to bring together, a celebration of podcasters? I think we should do something similar here in Australia.
Yes, well, I think so too. I'm sure that when they look at what we've done, moved peace a little bit closer in the Ukraine conflict and also in Gaza and also in Sudan, we've helped with, so, you know, and as I said before, no genders were offended.
That's right.
No dwarfs thrown, no trees felled. We haven't been counselled.
Well, not yet. I keep saying not yet because we haven't even been contacted full stop.
Yes, we have. Yes,
I know. I'm joking.
But Richard Branson hasn't contacted us and said, I love your work, guys. We're going to fund you for the next 5 years.
No, well, unfortunately, his wife died.
Oh, did she?
So she was 80.
Was she?
And she passed, yeah.
Richard must be a fine old age himself.
Yeah, he doesn't look it, but yeah, unfortunately lost his wife.
Oh, condolences, Richard. Nobody likes to lose their soul partner, so I'm very, very sorry to hear that, mate.
Because he's got an island just down the road from here.
Yes, yes.
Was it?
Makepeace Island here, yeah, where we live. Richard, if you are listening, tap us on the shoulder when you're around next time and we'll get you in for an interview. Wouldn't that be great?
Be awesome. And there's a few celebrities that come up here anyway. We should really be the paparazzi and hassle them.
Oh, we should. I wonder who's coming up next.
There's always somebody, Mully.
But how can we find out? I believe Mick Jagger's been here. I believe Bono, U2 has been here. I passed Elle Macpherson here one time. Breathtakingly beautiful. Oh, stunningly beautiful.
Absolutely tall.
And it was like...
sensational.
Well, for the red-blooded hetero male that I am, the power of the beauty as she passed me, it was like, you know, breathtaking. That's a woman, man, I tell you. That was amazing. Now, having said that, I don't want to put any dispersions on those who aren't Macpherson-esque, because what I like in any people, not just women, is the essence of who they are. I think that is the most important thing. That's what really impresses me. It's not so much how they look, but what comes out of them in terms of their spirit, their essence. But in her case, the physicality was just stunning.
So I think we should make a concerted effort to get at least a B or C or D celebrity. I'm sure we can do that.
Yes, yes. Well, I kind of like the idea of Richard being our so much sponsor, the godfather of our little podcast.
Well, let's get on to him. Oh, maybe next year. So there's a lot happening next year. I'm looking forward to it.
Wouldn't it be great to say this episode has been sponsored by Virgin Godfather himself, Richard Branson? And we'd have to rename it.
And he does some voiceovers.
We'd have to say Keith and Lee's Virgin Podcast.
Yeah, that'd be great.
True to form.
Now, Keith, as we always do, we rattle on. Now, you came up with a corker a couple of days ago. Our next topic.
Yes, well, it just came to me, and the next topic, this topic I'd like us to discuss today is, do we need to find ourselves?
That opens up a Pandora's box.
Yeah, because some people do. Some people need to answer basic questions about themselves. You know, what type of person am I? Where do I fit in society? Where do I fit in the world? What's my purpose? What's my role? What do I like? What am I drawn to that brings fulfillment to me? And how can I even understand myself in a basic way? Now, I know those questions sound perhaps a little bit basic or a little bit, I don't know the word, just simplistic, but they're very real.
Well, we'd have to, the points you've made, discuss them later. And I thought about it when you first discussed it, and I wanted to open up straight away. And I said, no, Keith, let's wait to the podcast. And I thought about it. It is something like finding a lost object. And I don't think it's even finding who we are. I think it's the process of self-discovery. It's important for personal growth and well-being. It takes it into the understanding of my values, my desires, and my beliefs. to make me or my decisions are more purposeful and align my actions with what that meaning is to me. I find it in the workplace, in my family, in my relationships. I always look of how I am in that situation or an environment that I've been thrust into. And whether I look at it in not a negative way or a positive way, but in my way. And it's just finding or creating you.
Yes, it is creating you. And you said something there about self-discovery.
Self-discovery.
Coming into yourself.
Understanding my values and my desires and my purpose as an individual, as creating who I am.
But some people seem to me to come into that quite early. Looking back through my life, I've seen some people in their 30s who were, or even younger in their 20s, who were very assured about who they were as a person, what they liked and what they were going to do. They seemed to have a clear vision ahead of them and the confidence within themselves that they would be able to fulfill that vision.
Another way of being self-aware and being resilient.
Yes.
Which leads, I think, to a stronger sense of purpose in your life.
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's what I said. They seem to have a confidence to be able to fulfill their vision. They can see their way ahead and they're very confident in that. But then there are others who are floundering even in their 70s, 40s, 50s, and perhaps even later. Where do I fit in? What's my attributes? What do I like? I've never had a job that's been satisfying for myself, and I've never found a purpose that I've wanted to give myself to. And I'm sure that there's a lot of people like that, Lee.
Well, there's a stronger sense of purpose. I keep coming to the word purpose because you have to have purpose. And it's like aligning your actions with my values provide a clear sense of direction and meaning in my life. You have to have that clarity of finding yourself, creating yourself, whatever it is, but just be aware of yourself, of who you are as an individual. Like I said, I struggle with it in the workplace, not so much in the family arena, but even relationships. I have to. Work colleagues, friends. You have to be true and have purpose of who you are in that relationship and be true to it. I've been told a few times from work colleagues, when I think about it, I'm very grateful that they have this to say, is that they say, Lee, you're the same at home when I come round to your place and spend time with you as you are at work, which I'm thinking that's amazing. Isn't everybody like that?
A good question. I wonder if they are, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are not.
No, I don't think they are. And I've seen it. The alpha male that it's my way or the highway. And then when you get them at home, they're meek and mild and quiet and submissive.
Going back to what you said about values, I think that is a part of this too, because some people don't know what their values or their convictions are.
Values, passions, goals.
Yeah, like what do I really believe in? What's my politics? I'd like to have a political conviction, but I don't know whether I'm a socialist in the middle or whether I'm a raging capitalist, conservative. What's my view on religion? What's my view on finances? What's my view on relationship with the opposite sex? A lot of people, they just float because they haven't really found their values. They haven't found what they believe about certain things. And so I think we do need to find ourselves.
Well, I've written a couple of points down here, which I find interesting. So one that I'm looking at is called greater control, knowing who you are and what you want to allow you to take control of your life and make choices that reflect your beliefs, like you were just saying. So that's greater control. The knock-on from that is improved self-love. The journey of self-discovery is a key component of self-love and leads to better self-care and personal satisfaction. Who doesn't want that?
Yeah, I think everybody does, of course.
But they're not aware of it.
Yeah, well, they've got to come into what are my values, what are my convictions, what am I leaning towards that feeds my soul. It took me personally a long, long time to come to my political conviction. I always knew I had an interest in it, but I didn't really know where I firmly stood. I'd say probably about a decade ago. I went, oh my God, I'm a socialist.
Was that finding that, or did you create that?
That's a good question. It was certainly an understanding, like a light came on, so I guess I found it, but the path towards it.
You had to create.
Yes, I think, the whole thing about this, not the whole thing, but an important aspect of this, I think, is that you have to keep walking ahead. You have to keep walking. If you don't know who you are, if you can't find yourself, you have to keep walking and engaging in life and embracing things, like walking down a corridor. And you might think, okay, I want to have a political conviction. Oh, here's a door. I'll go through that. You go through the door and you find that it's conservative. Oh, you look around, you understand a little bit. No, that's not me. Go back into the corridor, keep walking ahead. You see another door, it says, oh, communism. You go and have a look at that. You have to take it on board. No, that's not me. Back into the corridor, move ahead. Oh, socialism. Oh, yeah, that's me. So it's kind of like that. I believe you have to keep going ahead and not give up. You really do have to find yourself.
But just embracing that, like you were saying, you find it, then you have to embrace it.
Yes.
It's that acknowledgement of it. And psychologists and personal development experts agree that the process, often described as finding yourself, is a virtual journey for living a meaningful, authentic, and fulfilling life. Again, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah, I love that. Read that description again.
Okay, so the psychologists and personal development experts agree that the process, often described as finding yourself, is a vital journey for living a meaningful, authentic, and fulfilling life.
Absolutely. Amen to that. It's like I said, walking down the corridor. Yeah. Keep going.
That's why I mentioned that, because it just runs parallel to that. But we see it because we're a little bit older.
I'm mature, I'd rather.
Mature. You keep correcting me on that. I must take that out and put mature.
Well, biologically, we've got numbers against ourselves, which I'm not disowning, but I'd prefer maturity to older. I'm of the opinion that if you are journeying, if you are walking down the corridor, you are moving ahead, you should be getting better.
Yeah. So it's like you're saying, the journey, engaging in self-discovery, offers significant benefits for you.
Absolutely. As long as the heart holds out or cancer doesn't take you.
Well, there's a chance that it probably will in the end, but it's the purposeness of it all. It's your dreams, it's your desires that will take you there, will expose who you are. You have to have those quiet moments we've been saying before. And we said it on many times, well, I've said it many times on podcasts, of just having that still, quiet moment to listen to that hum. Mm-hmm. But there's so much more branches out. If we are, you are, and I am, prepared to look and go down there like you were saying, then once you do find it, you go, yeah, that's me, embrace it. Sensational, Keith. Well done.
Well, isn't it interesting? You know, I'm thinking of a friend of mine, and he's devoted his whole life to the pursuit of dollars, and he's been successful. And along the way, he's been very confident. He's always confident as a young guy. I've known him for all my life. And he knew what he wanted, and he set out for it, and he achieved it. And along the way, because he's had success, he's been able to say, well, these values that have made me go that way have worked, so I know that value is me. And so you talk to him about a lot of things, like some of the topics that we discuss here in Don't Get Me Started, and he's got an opinion. So he's found himself very, very early in life. He knows his values. He knows his convictions. He knows what he believes in. And he's very firm in all of that, to the point of being almost dogmatic, where he's not really open to a discussion that may bring a difference.
I understand. Yep.
But he found that very, very early. And then, you know, you meet other people who go, I don't know, okay. They don't really know who they are. But if you do know who you are, you've got an opinion, all right.
There's benefits to this as well. And
Absolutely.
You know what I like with benefits? So improved mental health.
Yes.
Is one benefit. Self-awareness is linked to reduce anxiety and depression, higher self-esteem, and greater emotional stability.
Oh.
With the relationship side, as I was saying before, enhanced relationships. When you understand yourself and set healthy boundaries. Because in all that, when we do find these, we still have to make boundaries, because others will come in. And like you were just saying, try to go, well, I don't think so. Well, you're a commie, or whatever. They come with their idiotic ways because they haven't really thought about it. So from that, you can form more authentic connections with others based on mutual respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's mutual respect in what you are, which I have utmost respect for you and your opinions. And I will fight for other people's mutual respect on what they believe in. It's one of those systems that you have to learn to use and function in. Otherwise, you cave. You get swamped with all the other people's opinions because they haven't done the journey. I hope that you're enjoying the podcast and the content that we're bringing to you each week. I want to take a moment to invite you to support the show. Your contributions help us continue creating high-quality episodes, bringing in exciting guests and exploring the topics you love. Every bit helps, whether it's a small donation or signing up for our Patreon account. By supporting us, you're not just helping keeping the lights on, you're becoming part of our community and helping us grow. To show our appreciation, we offer exclusive perks, behind-the-scenes content, and so much more for our supporters. So if you love what we do and you want to see us thrive, please consider signing up at buzzsprout.com/don't get me started. Support the show. Thank you for being part of our journey, and let's keep the conversation going.
Yeah, you have to do the journey, and you really, really do. Even if it takes a long time to find who you are, you will get there. There are such things as late bloomers. You know, some people come into the best of who they are in their latter years. Sometimes the process of finding yourself is stalled by responsibility of having to pay the bills, pay the mortgage, raise the kids, because when you're raising children, you can't invest a lot of time into yourself. You've got to put it into your kids, and you've got to put your money and your resources and your efforts and your years into your children. So all of a sudden, it could be 10, 15, 20 years before, or longer, before all of that demand of time and resources is taken away from you, and all of a sudden you're standing there, you look yourself in the mirror and you go, oh my God, I'm 45. Last time I had a good look at myself, I was 23. You know, I looked like this really great, fantastic blonde hair surfer guy. You know, who are you? And you have to wear glasses now, and you have to kind of reinvent yourself or rediscover yourself.
As they say, what happened?
Yeah, what happened? Are you listening, Ross? He can take that joke.
He can.
He knows we love him.
But I think it just gives you a greater sense of purpose. It's clarifying your values and passions. You can identify a life purpose that gives you direction and motivation.
Yes.
And leading to a higher overall life satisfaction. Again, who wouldn't want that? And the last one I've got down is better decision making. Knowing your true self allows you to make choices that are aligned with your beliefs and goals, rather than being swayed by external options or immediate impulses.
Yeah, and look, one other thing I'd add to this is that if you feel that you don't really understand yourself and you think that you haven't found yourself, don't give up. Because, as I said, some people, some of us are late bloomers, and we come into the best of understanding of who we are in our middle to later years. Don't give up, because if you do, you're going to remain a lost soul. And that's what you are. You're empty. And if you can't find it along the way and you really are trying to find out who you are, it really is important you don't give up, because if you do, you not only remain an empty soul, that's when you can slip into mental health problems.
Yep.
Because, I feel sorry for myself because I've never done such and such. I've never been successful, whatever that is. I mean, that's a relative term, really. I've never been able to get into some meaningful groove in my life. And you can really punish yourself mentally by thinking of yourself as almost a failure. Because we live in a materialistic society and a capitalist system, we have this thing about winners and losers. And often people who have done well financially will look upon the others as battlers. Oh, they're the battlers, which is a kind word for saying losers. And if you know that you're somebody who's battled in life in these things that we're talking about, not being able to understand who you are, not had so-called success, you can think of yourself as a bit of a loser. And the moment you start to do that, you're in trouble.
It's shocking.
You're in a lot of trouble because, dude, you're not, and woman, you're not a loser. You're somebody who's on your own individual path. And that's important to recognize, because it's the biggest mistake in the world to compare ourselves with other people and say, oh, he or she's got this. Oh, he or she has been able to have a successful life, and I'm here, and this is only what I've been able to achieve, or where I stand and how I feel. But you can't do that. You've got to accept yourself. And if that means out of 100, the best that you can get is 55, own it. And be happy. Mate, I'm a 55% guy, and I love it because I can do 55.
There are 5 major benefits of knowing thyself, or know thyself.
Haven't we covered this already? Got 5 more benefits?
No, understanding your emotions is a big one.
Ooh, and hard.
It's hard as, mate. The next one is recognising your thought patterns, which is even harder.
Yes.
Because who recognises it? It just happens. You can't pick it out and go, oh, that's the one.
And we also think that our thoughts are normal, don't we?
Well, You do.
Are you alluding to the fact that they may not be?
Mine, no, they're outrageous.
You want to confess something?
No, listening to your body is another one. As mature men as we are, we do. I do. I listen to my body all the time because it's screaming at me.
Oh.
Well, I wake up in the morning, it's going, hello, I'm here.
Mine creaks. It doesn't scream.
And this is a one that I have been working on for a long, long time. I'm quite amazed it's on the list, is noticing your habits. Because sometimes we don't even know we've got certain habits. Mm-hmm. And like what you're doing now with you're touching the chin, and it's a habit. Mm-hmm. It's just a habit. It's like I've got certain habits that you could probably think of now when I do it. You go, oh, there's a habit.
Look, I'm not too gracious to mention it, Lee.
And the final one, understanding your beliefs and assumptions.
Yeah, that's what we said before. You know, what are your values and convictions about different things?
There's a lot of work there, Keith.
You know, one of the things that I find a little bit frustrating in life is that I love to have a good discussion, which is why I enjoy sitting opposite you, Lee, and not only podcasting, but we have great discussions all the time.
All the time.
That's probably one of the reasons why we do this, but we're sometimes... A lot of people are touchy. You want to talk about, say, deep things in life, current affairs of some sorts, and you want to be able to share your views. And it's really hard often to be able to have a discussion where people can listen and accept your point of views. And therefore accept you. I know a couple of friends who are raging conservatives, absolutely raging conservatives. Mind is closed on any other alternative. I wouldn't go so far as to say I love them dearly, but they're great friends. I accept them. They're part of my life, and I'm the richer for it. So we have to discuss and be open. And then that's a wonderful thing because you can enjoy the richness of conversation and the richness of hearing what the other person's got to say.
The conversations we are having now has been years and years and years talking about this, even down to Aristotle when he says, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom.
Did he say that?
He also says to find yourself, think for yourself. And Socrates said that. And secondly, he said, know first who you are and then adorn yourself accordingly. Thank you. I'll take that.
Adorn yourself accordingly.
Adorn yourself accordingly.
Now, how would you adorn yourself?
With beautiful things, Keith.
With convictions and values and
passions and desires and goals and everything that's wrapped up into it. You adorn yourself with it. Mm-hmm. It becomes your toolbox. You bring out my desire today. My passion will be here. My values are there. It's all there. Mm-hmm. Let's do it. Let's use it. Let's make the most of it. I don't want to be a 55% guy. I want to be a little bit higher. And even the days where my body is screaming at me, I will talk to it and say no.
Would you accept 56.5%?
Nothing less than 70, mate.
So you believe that you are a 70-plus guy?
Yeah, I think I am.
So that's a conviction you have of yourself.
But I wasn't like that in my teens or in my early 20s. I started to turn that corner when I was about 45, and then I started to realise purpose.
I'm not provoking you to as if I'm a little bit offended that you are being proud here. I'm just wanting to see where you land because I believe that you have found yourself, that you do have an understanding of who you are in these areas that we're talking about. Would you be so bold as to rate yourself 0 to 100 in terms of self-acceptance and knowing who you are?
I haven't really thought about that. And of course, I don't want to be too low. I don't want to be too high. But that's the side of me that's negative. So I have to be positive. But I would say 75%.
Oh, I'd rate you higher.
Really?
Yes, definitely.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I'd put you in between 80 to 85.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad.
Yeah, because you've got great values and you're firm in your convictions and you're very interested in a lot of things. You know what you like, you know what you don't like. You know, you're confident in yourself. You handle yourself very well with people. You are not intimidated by people. You're very comfortable with people. You talk well to them. I've seen you pissed off, but I don't ever believe I've seen you negative. I've never seen you down to the point where, F word, man, I'm just having the worst day, boo-hoo-hoo.
That's pointless.
It's not you.
Well, it goes back to the saying, but thank you for that, okay? Goes back to for the if, buts, and maybe, should, would, could have. I don't believe in those. And what I think I have is a positive mindset. So, I think about every good thing in my life right now. I free myself of worry. I let go of anxiety. And as I keep saying to everybody I meet that I feel they're a little bit down, don't forget to breathe.
Yeah, let's go back to this point I said about, you get pissed off. A lot of people who don't really know their convictions or values, when things go against them that shouldn't, that's an injustice of some sort, they just go, oh, yeah, okay, that's all right, I'll roll with it. But if you have certain standards, certain values, and they are violated by the other person, they don't have to be great things where you've been ripped off. But if you have been disadvantaged because somebody's taking advantage of you, if you have your own standards that you believe in and that you know are a representation of who you are, you will be pissed off.
Yeah.
And, of course, how you handle that anger is an entire different issue. And the way I've seen you operate, you handle that very, very well. But when you have been pissed off, it's been because there's been a just reason to do that. I mean, if you're driving down the road and a guy cuts across you and you go into road rage, it's just idiot. You're an immature fool. Stay at home, you're a 6-year-old, you shouldn't be on the road. But when something genuine comes against what you stand for and you get pissed off, that's because you know who you are, and you know who you are.
Well, thank you, Keith. I like to stay positive. I know all is well. But what you were saying back then about the negative stuff that comes in or the wrong stuff that comes in, I think about of all the wrongs or the negative things that have happened to get me to that point where I take the right way. So it's a yin and the yang. It just depends on the length and the breadth of each one, whether it's a lot of stuff that goes wrong, but it got me to where I am now. But everything went right. I don't think I'd be where I am because I've had no comparison. The yin and the yang of it all. So much goes wrong to put me on the right path. So I welcome it. And I said to you before, when things are happening, I always give the person the benefit of the doubt because they will expose themselves anyway in the end. And 9 out of 10 times they do. We're talking about, Michael, if you're listening, sorry, mate, from Dulux Paint Shop. I saw Michael. Michael is the most upbeat, funny, happy. And I thought, and I always think with people, that's not who they are. They can't live off that level all the time. So they have something to bring them up, coffee, sugar, whatever it is. And then I saw Michael. I saw the real Michael. And I look at him, I said, oh, there you are. Because then it gives you that level where we all should be. We should all look in the mirror and we should go, there you are. We spoke before about, I don't know if it's stereotypes. And you said, am I a stereotype? And I said, no, I don't look at you as a stereotype because I don't believe in stereotypes to a point. But I believe in MOs. And I know your MO. And your MO is classic. You've been that person for 32 years. You haven't changed. You haven't diverted off it. You are genuine. You're the original, which I admire because there's not that many people around that are original. They're genuine. Even though you could probably be a rat bag, I know your MO, and that's not who you are. But that's my perspective on it. Others could be completely different, but that's down to you to know who you are. So when I'm telling you this stuff, you're going to go, oh, he doesn't really know me that well then, or, oh, yeah, Lee's got a handle on me. But that's down to you.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave that right there. But thank you. Rat bag. Jeez. This friendship can be tested, you know.
Oh, bring it on, fella.
Just another thing I'd like to raise here. I find this interesting. When I was putting together some thoughts for this podcast, I kept thinking about old souls.
Old souls.
I guess it's a topic within itself. As I said, it seems to me that some people know who they are or pretty early in life. And I wonder if some of them are old souls who really know, oh, yeah, I've got a fair idea of how it all works and how life fits and how I fit into it, what my purpose is. And, okay, that's all right, I'll just continue on. So I wonder if that comes into it.
Well, it's interesting because this hasn't been said once. It's been said a number of times with me. I've been told that I was born 40.
See, that's interesting, isn't it? So if you've been told that, then somebody looking at you has thought, well, that guy has kind of found himself.
It's an old soul.
He's confident. He knows who he is, where he fits in life, where he's going. Yeah, he's not a lost soul. He's an old soul because there are lost souls. Did you ever see that movie, Hard Times in the El Royale? Oh, great movie. There's a scene in it where a guy who's got a little bit of a cult going, and I think he's a bit of a stereotype, a take on Charles Manson, and he's down the beach and he sees this young girl sitting in the sand and she's by herself. He is a very confident guy and he walks up to her and he starts talking to her in a confident way. And you can see that he understands pretty well straight away that she's lost. She's probably a drifter because she's lost. She's come out to California. She's sitting on the sand, the state of sunshine and opportunity, but she's got nothing. She's waiting for something to fall out of the cosmos to make her life purposeful and enhanced. And he's read her straight away. And of course, he's able to say the right words, and he picks her up and she follows him into his cult, and she does things that she shouldn't do because of that man providing purpose and values and directions into her life, because she was a lost soul. It's a great example if you ever see that in the movie.
Chris Hemsworth, he was the dude.
Yes.
Plays a good part.
Yes. It's a fascinating movie, I thought. But she's an example, that character portrayed in that movie is an example of a lost soul. And so when we're talking about can you find yourself, I'm sure that there's lost souls that are the basis of all that we're talking about today. But then again, you got old souls. But I wonder if that person who said you were born in your 40s, considered you to be an old soul, then if you're in your 60s and simplistic and happy and still don't understand who you are, would that person be considered to be a new soul? Because you don't hear that term, do you?
No, well, that depends on who you've got to know, because I'm saying to you, you're this, this, and this. Only you will know whether that's true or not. Values or whoever they are. But it's been varied over the years from older people to younger people have said the same thing. The other thing, like I said in the podcast, was you're the same at work as you are at home. I just find that isn't everybody.
No, they're not.
Because they're not. Am I an old soul? I don't know. I don't feel I'm an old soul. I just feel that I have discovered who I was in my 40s.
Well, can we invent a new term?
Go on then.
You're not an old soul. You're not a new soul. You're an in the middle soul.
A middle soul?
Yeah, a middle soul.
What about a David soul?
Well, your name's that's not your middle name, is it, David?
No.
No, it's Robert, isn't it?
It is.
No, you can be a middle soul.
Middle soul, yeah, okay, we'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I see a lot of confidence in you, and you are quite assured about who you are, and you know what you believe and your convictions and your values and all that type of thing. Yeah, you're a middle soul.
Good on you.
Do we need to find ourselves? That's the question that we started with, and we've covered a little bit of interesting ground in all this discussion, Lee. And
As always?
Yeah, and I believe the answer to that question is yes, we do need to find ourselves. Most people do.
I think it's beneficial.
Yeah. When you found yourself in your 40s, were you happy with what you found? Good, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of it's hidden, and it's only through my thought pattern of what I thought it should be, and it's never that way.
Isn't that interesting? So there's self-discovery, and you touched on that earlier, and isn't it a surprise when you find out something about yourself that you didn't know? I mean, when I was at university, I was studying literature, and we had to study poetry. And all of a sudden, I discovered that I loved poetry. It was a discovery. Since moved on, I don't have the love for it that I used to. But I've always been a reader, a great reader.
But did you write poetry?
Yes.
Do you write poetry now?
No.
Would you like to?
No.
Okay.
I've moved on.
You're done.
I'm done. Too much Sylvia Plath, I'm afraid.
Good on you.
But some of it I still love, really, really do. I have my favourite poets and definite poems that I like. I'm not somebody who explores that universe continually. I wouldn't consider myself a poet. It's just something that I found that I really do appreciate. And it was a point of self-discovery. And these are the things I think you have to find about yourself to discover, rather, yourself so that you can find yourself.
We were going to get a podcast on poetry, and I said, we should write a poem for the occasion. Now, that excited me because you don't know what will come out.
Do you want to do that?
I think we should. I still would like to get Jasmine in, who writes poetry. I think it would be it'd be different for us.
Well,
Keith.
I warn you, a lot of people who are poets, to put it politely, a lot of them have an overinflated opinion of themselves because they're poets, man, like it's groovy.
Yeah, and, Jasmine isn't like that. She just loves poetry.
And I'm intellectual and I'm different. And if you read my poems, tied into how I dissect society because I understand it. And it's like, okay, dude, can you pull your head out of your armpit? I nearly said some other body part right there.
Thank goodness.
Some of them made almost insufferable.
That was one example. The other examples is the podcast that we've been doing. I have learned so much through our talks together and our chats together, not only the content and what goes into it, but about myself. What like you were saying, you love poetry. I've loved every topic. I find that I put a little bit of myself in there, and I see a bit of myself as well. It's like our podcast. Here we go. Here's something for you, Keith. Our podcast is you need a witness in your life to notice your life. And the podcast is the witness.
Oh, there you go.
It's witnessing my life.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
And I think that's what I love about podcasting. Only one of the reasons why I leave a legacy for our children and grandchildren, if they ever do decide to listen to who we are, it's my witness.
Yes, well, that's why I keep a lot of my cards close to my chest.
I know. I've noticed that.
I don't want my cupboard door to be opened. Clank, clack, clack, clank, clank. What's all those bones?
I'm a bit more transparent. I think honesty is the best policy. As we come to the end, it's been a long one, Keith, this week. We're getting better at it, I think.
Well, we've got a fan down south, Sam, my good man. I hope you have enjoyed this episode. It is a little bit longer, as Lee said. I know that you listen, and I know that you really contemplate on what we are talking about. So I really hope you've enjoyed this. And I know that you're in a point of self-discovery in your own life right now, and you're doing a good job for what you are moving into. And, of course, seeing that and observing it, and I'm just hats off to you, mate. You're doing really, really well. Sam, we can dedicate this episode to him.
We will. Now, don't forget, Sam, we're not experts. This is just me and Keith explaining how we feel. Take it or leave it, throw it in the bin, or poetically embrace it.
Poetic.
It's been a pleasure as always, and at the end of every episode, I'll leave you the last word.
Lee, it's been a pleasure to sit here today and share these thoughts with you and discuss this topic. And it's been a pleasure to kind of wrap up the week doing so with you, and, you know, your wonderful greeting that you laid on me at the beginning. And let me reciprocate, mate. You're looking pretty cool yourself over there. It's just been a great way for me to be able to share this way with you. So thanks very much, buddy. Keep up the shining light that you are. And to all our friends and family and devoted listeners right across the world, and we do have them, thanks for tuning in. And don't forget to love, share, subscribe, keep sending in those telegrams. Who used to say that, do you know? Dean Martin. Send in those emails. Hooroo.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Don't Get Me Started with Keith and Lee. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast. To see more of Don't Get Me Started, jump onto our socials, follow us on Instagram at Lethal and Mully, Facebook and LinkedIn. If you would like to be a part of the show, email us on don'tgetmestarted2024@gmail.com. Until next time.